Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris, this is Stacey, and we're going to wish you a happy Merry Christmas right now before we get into the awful news that's pouring out of the United States. There's rolling blackouts. She's going to read some of the story, and I'm going to actually read you some of the tweets that are about this storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of tough times going on right now for the weather. It's not pretty.
We were actually going to get on here and make a, hey, Merry Christmas. Thanks for,
Right.
It's nice to meet everybody and visit you in the comments and get to know you. But this is some really important information, and people are not going to have a very Merry Christmas.
Right.
Especially.
Well, we've all known this is coming, and they've been forecasting it. I think 24 states are supposed to have snow, but it's just really bad. And I guess what's coming around or coming about and coming out because of this is our electrical grids. As we've been saying, they are not capable of handling this. So they are literally coming out and asking people to reduce their electricity, and it's about the eastern half of the U.S. that seems to be affecting most of them. So it's so much for unreliable renewables helping them out when the regional grid that supplies power to 65 million Americans in 13 states in the District of Columbia, and they're saying this is an emergency. They're trying not to go to stage 3. They said if they go to stage 3, they're actually going to have to cut off power to people that they declare that they don't actually need it. They're asking you to reduce your amount of electricity. They've even said if you cannot use your washing machine, your dishwasher, they said if you could open the curtains if there's sun so you can allow some warmth in. They're telling you, hey, can you please get your blankets out? These guys, they're facing some hard times right now. And you want to read some of the tweets, I guess, that were coming out?
Georgia. The electrical system in Georgia is experiencing distress this morning due to sustained cold weather. I mean, even here, it's like 19 degrees outside right now. It was 7 when I got home. The water well froze up. Chicken water was froze up. I mean, it's bad, and I can't imagine how bad it's going to get everywhere else.
No, it is. It's tough, and that's not good when you don't.
Tennessee, Titans delay Texas game by 1 hour on power concern.
They said demand has soared more than 9 gigawatts above the forecast on Friday evening. They said that is equivalent to 9 million homes just popping up on the grid on a typical day. So imagine 9 million homes all of a sudden going to this grid that's it's old, it's struggling probably as it is, and then all of a sudden you got that much more demand on it. I mean, it is testing it.
18 degrees this morning, and the woke idiots at Duke Energy are running rolling blackouts to conserve electricity. It's over and over. It's the people that are experiencing this are tweeting out and saying, I've been in this rolling blackout. This is David, since 8:30 a.m. and now it's 11:30 a.m. and still don't have power. This is what happens when we're in a power trap. I was talking to my brother-in-law last night at a Christmas party about this, and this is, energy's everything. It doesn't matter if it's food, fuel, all energy is life.
Yeah,
period.
Warmth, cooking.
And they're taking that away. And as it gets worse and as we start freezing up, they're going to say, well, it's because of climate change. Oh, well, I thought it was global warming. No, it's global cooling. Well, it's just climate change. And they're going to use this. Oh, well, see how cold it got this year?
Right.
Because of, try to use it against us. And there's a lot of woke idiots that are going to believe it.
Yeah, and a lot of flights are being canceled also. I think 16 flights were canceled, another 1,700 were delayed, 1,600 canceled, 1,700 delayed. So that's a lot of people that are just left in limbo. And then, if you do have problems with electricity, getting places, and I don't even know about the driving. Thank God where we are, we're not having issues with that, so we're still able to drive and see our family. But I think Andrew, who was showing some of his videos, and man, it looks nasty where he is. Like, you shouldn't be out on the road in some of these places. Then I was talking to a truck driver the other day, and he was just talking about how even bleak and he said it's just a different atmosphere in the air when he's driving all over the United States. He said he's noticed billboards. There's no more really, and we'll get back, sorry, to the weather again, but he said there's no more billboards like advertising stuff. And Chris and I noticed this the other day when we were traveling somewhere. There's not a lot of advertisement. There's just either ads saying, hey, please call us for advertisements, or the advertisements are extremely old, they're falling down. He said he noticed less vehicles on the road, which could be because of the upcoming storm, So, by the way, Bo, I hope you made it home to, I think it was Indiana, you were going home. But he just said he could just tell there's just a different atmosphere in the air because of everything that's just been going on in our country.
There's been a mass casualty incident declared following pileup on Interstate 75 in Ohio. I'll roll a clip of this. It just happened, and
Prayers for those people. Not only for injuries, but being stuck in that kind of condition. If you run out of gas, for having heat. Hopefully people had coats or blankets in their cars. That's another thing you guys think about. Whenever we travel, a lot of times, people get tickled because I put a blanket in the car. It's usually for the dogs. But it's good to have that kind of stuff. I know there's a lot of people that keep a bag of supplies just in case something were to happen. And I do that a lot just because I work a lot from home. So it's good to have, but this is interesting real quick for you to read another tweet. Temperatures are expected to be 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit below the normal across much of the central and eastern United States. This is from the National Weather Services. And in parts of the Midwest, snow totals, they're going to reach or have already reached record levels. So this is what do they call it? A polar, I forget what they were calling it, but it's just like a really
Arctic
big deal.
blast.
I don't know, it was something, they gave it a name.
Yeah, well, call it what you want. It's just cold, and if you're not prepared, then you're going to be scared because there's a lot of people that are going to be. As this energy crisis gets worse, overseas is going to look really bad. It's already looking bad in Europe. People are warming up in libraries. They can't afford their electricity bill. It's really, and Greta Thunberg, she's nowhere to be found. I tried to find out where she lived and if her heat was on. And said the world was her home. How dare you?
Yep.
It's just poppycock, really.
But this is just one more thing that we talk about. I mean, we're not, obviously this isn't man-made. Well, they might say it is, but just be prepared. Things like this come up.
Yeah. By the way, the pellet stove. My laser metal guy and brake guy is working on that now. So that should be a weld together project. It should be really cool. I do not have one to show you, but as soon as I do, I will make a welding video on how to put it together. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll be a way to get people relatively cheap heat source that you can hopefully pile up. If you don't need it, you can stick it on a shelf.
Right.
And when you do need it, you could weld it or build it and then put it away, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you'd have something that, I can heat this building's like 5,000 square foot and heats the whole thing on about 3 bags of pellets a day. It's about $15 for all day. So that's one thing you can do.
You can use wood. You burn pallets. I mean,
right. You can burn motor oil, whatever you want in it. But there's just no reason. And a lot of times, wood burning stoves are pretty cheap at garage sales and stuff. They're not going to be cheap now.
No.
You're going to be hard pressed to find one now, probably. But this is going to wake a lot of people up, I think. This is, a way to heat yourself. Water. When our well water froze up last night, it was a big deal. It's the last thing I wanted to do at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night.
We seem to have a few water issues lately. We get home last night from hanging out with family. We step out of the car, and all of a sudden I hear Chris go, "Oh, no."
There's icicles big as baseball bats hanging off the well house.
So he left the water on for a few minutes, and I was filling up jugs, and that's another thing. And I told myself the other day I was going to fill up some jugs, and I did not do it. So lesson learned, I'm always going to keep jugs of water on hand. But thank God he had some parts on hand and was able to.
Yeah, I was able to make
cap it off. And so we have water. We're thankful.
Yeah, we're back in business. But a lot of people don't have electricity now. A lot of people rely on electricity to heat themselves, and that is, you need to have 3 fuel sources. I've talked about that a lot. Mm-hmm. 1 is none, 2 is 1, and 3 is where you want to be. Mm-hmm. We've even went as far as to get another hot water heater that runs off of propane. Mm-hmm. It's not even hooked up. It's just over there. Yep. You just don't know. And the odds of that stuff going down in value isn't very good. Like I say all the time, if you had bought food when I started talking about a year and a half ago, you're beating the stock market big time, 11, 12%. So these things that I'm trying to bring up are just real common sense things that are not really fun to buy, you know. And really, to me, silver and gold's not just a crazy fun thing to buy, but, it hedges your wealth and you feel prepared when you have it.
Just another step to, as you said, be prepared. And if you guys are wondering what this is one of the coolest gifts I just got from my sister. This is actually an ornament. I love putting ornaments on the tree that actually have meaning and like stuff that we go through. Matter of fact, so when he brought a school bus home, that's another story for another day. It's 1968 school bus, and the thing still ran. Well, on our Christmas tree, there's a school bus ornament. But my sister got me this, and I think this is so cool. It's gold. It says "Fine Gold 9999." I thought that was interesting. I love it. That's probably my favorite gift so far. Cool. That was good.
Yeah,
but we have just so enjoyed being a part of you guys' lives this year. Thank you guys for, just letting us be a part of it, calling us, sharing your stories.
That's what I told you this morning. I told Stacey this morning. I said, we have met more like-minded, cool people this year than any other year in my
Yeah.
life.
And amazing people and their
It has been
history
such a
and
blessing to
journey.
get to know everybody. Yeah, I mean, when you go to these meetups and any of these conferences, you meet people that watch you and they know where we stand.
Right.
You know where we're at when you look at our channel.
Right.
And you just know them. You
Yep.
feel like you know them. And I've enjoyed meeting every one of you guys. And it's just this next year we're going to crush it. This next year is going to be very exciting. It's going to be scary too for a lot of people that aren't prepared. It's going to be real scary. And I think the prepper channels are fixing to get really busy. Because there's going to be lots to talk about. 2023 really could be the Thunderdome. There's no telling what's coming. It's very strange. Me and the Economic Ninja were talking the other day about how it's kind of a hypnotic. Everything's kind of slow right now. Everything's kind of, it's kind of the calm before the storm, I think.
It is. But can we just end this on like some cheery
Sure.
Merry Christmas? Because it is. There's a lot of bad things happen, just like that truck driver said. He said he just feels a difference in the air. But I just really want to just kind of tell everybody, Merry Christmas. We hope that you're having like the most amazing day. Hope you're getting to spend it with friends and family, and if not, with someone that you care about.
And reach out to somebody that doesn't have family.
Yeah.
Somebody that might have lost somebody. Reach out. And that's I reached out to a buddy of mine I hadn't talked to in a year and a half yesterday, and I promised my brother-in-law I was going to talk to him twice this year because we never talk. And that's your family whether you like it or not. So reach out to the people that you remember. Somebody pops in your head, just call them.
Yeah. Or some elderly person.
Doesn't matter if they don't answer. You don't have to call them anymore. You can call them a couple times, they don't answer, then take the hint. But that's kind of what the season's about.
Well, and just some elderly people also. If you know someone that lives close by and they're a little older, just check in on them, especially with the weather the way it is. Just check on them, make sure they're okay. And but I just wanted to come on with Chris and just tell you guys Merry Christmas. I've loved getting to talk to you guys, and consider a lot of you guys my friends now.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, guys, have an awesome, awesome day and a Merry Christmas.
Yes.
We'll see you in the next one.
Yes.
Later.